Hello and welcome to Simply Cyber Live. I am your host, Gerald Ozier, and every Thursday at 4:30, we talk with experts to help you take your cyber career further, faster. Today, I'm joined with friend of the show, Matt Weaver, Director of Development for the Cyber Bytes Foundation in Virginia. Cyber Bytes Foundation's mission is to develop education, innovation, and outreach programs exclusively focused on cybersecurity. Let's go ahead and bring Matt into the studio. Let's get you a proper Matt. Hello. Welcome to the show, Matt.
I love this. That intro was so cool. I was dancing. I enjoyed it. And thank you. It was awesome.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you being here. And yeah, thanks for the feedback on the show. We try to keep it entertaining both for the guests and the hosts.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. It's come a long way.
So as far as Cyber Bytes Foundation goes, I gave a little high level overview of what your mission is, but can you kind of tell us, what is Cyber Bytes Foundation?
Yeah, absolutely. So Cyber Bytes Foundation is a 501c3. We're registered with the IRS. And we recently opened the Quantico Cyber Hub. It's a $10 million facility in Stafford, Virginia. And so within the foundation, we have two entities. We have the American Cyber League, which is a consortium of individuals, small, medium, and large companies. We have DoD agencies, nonprofits, universities, and individuals that are all a part of it. And then we have the Cyber Bytes Academy that's led by Dr. Ken Williams. And we recently received our SHEV certification. So now we can start to offer courses to the public, which we're very excited about. And so, yeah, we're ready to go. We're doing a lot.
Yeah, that is quite a bit. So it's interesting. So if you guys have kind of an education mission, I'm wondering, are all three parts interwoven with each other? So an education mission, are you offering, is it more of a like textbook education, or because you have that DoD element, are you doing kind of hands-on, actual real project type education work?
Right. Well, right now with COVID, what we're focusing on is offering like boot camp style courses like A+, Security Plus, focused around the 8570. And so those are basically 5 to 10 day courses that lead to a certification. We have a 12-seat Pearson Review testing center on site. We've got 5 state-of-the-art classrooms in the facility. So once we can get people in, we're ready for them to do some stuff within the foundation at the hub. And then what we'll be doing too is building some labs on the second floor. We've started construction on those. And so students will get an education opportunity, and then they'll also have the ability to go up and break some stuff, learn some troubleshooting techniques, some hands-on, make sure they're ready for the workforce.
Yeah. So do you have relationships with industry in that, I go through one of the programs, but potential employers are aware of candidates going through the program so that you can kind of marry them together and map like, hey, potential employer who's got an opening, here's a potential candidate who's got the skills.
Yeah, we're just dipping our toe into that world. I've created some relationships with those types in larger organizations. We're partnering with Vets to PM to provide veterans some training, kind of help their transition so that they can go from military careers right into the workforce after spending a little time with us. They're a great organization, but they're partnered with some of the biggest companies in the nation. So we're very happy, but we plan on expanding that and getting more out there.
So is I guess who is Cyber Bytes Foundation open to? Like you just mentioned veterans, and I think that that's a fantastic audience to provide a service like this too. But if I was a high school student, or if I was a college student, or if I was, just a regular professional who was looking to make a change, like, is this something that's available to me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're agnostic, so it doesn't matter, who you're involved with, what kind of organization, or if you have the desire to learn cyber or be a part of the community, that's what we're here for. I feel like we have a lot to offer when it comes to people who maybe want to transition. They got a bachelor's degree or whatever, and they've got like an unfulfilled career. And as you know, for cybersecurity professionals, unemployment is like zero, less than zero.
Mm-hmm.
And so for us, we feel like with some key certifications that could take you 90 days to get, you could be off and running on a $70,000, $80,000 career.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's what makes it so interesting. That's why I was curious, like who this was for. So, yeah. So as far as the boot camp style certification coursework goes, is that something that's like is it asynchronous, or is it like, is there like a calendar where you have to like get on the calendar and get into a class? Or I guess so to me, I hear boot camp certification, and we did a Simply Cyber live episode last week on certification, and people were highly engaged because it's not only what cert can pay the most, but where should I focus my energy, my time, my money? So I'm curious, like, can you dig into a little bit more of like the boot camp certification? How does it work? Who gets it?
Yeah.
How do you execute on it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a great discussion too. I was able to catch most of it, and I was engaged, like, because I love hearing that. There's certainly in the community, there's debate on what's better. And I love to hear people's opinions. And so for our perspective, often, like, as it really pertains to defense contractors and that sort of thing, contractually, they're required to provide cyber experts with that meet a certain standard. And it doesn't mean that that's a great person. It's just like, hey, this is the bare minimum requirement. And so from my perspective, what you're doing by adding certifications is you're making yourself more employable and giving yourself a better opportunity to kind of develop a really successful career. And so for us, people who want to get into this kind of career field, maybe, if you've been like a really good boy and girl your whole life, and you're able to get a TS or a TSSCI with a polygraph type of clearance, and then you pair it up with some training, whoa, I mean, you're getting way into hundreds of thousands of dollars, to do that kind of work. So, we feel like those are the people. And then because we start at the basics, we have high school kids that have always been interested. We've done some hackathons at the facility, and we've had, a 13-year-old girl up against some of the top, cyber professionals in the industry as far as, government contracting goes. And, it's exciting. I love people that really get involved and want to make, our infrastructure more secure for our country.
Yeah, so we got a question from the audience, and I think it's a very appropriate one. So John, friend of the show, John Helmus asks, can veterans use the GI Bill for something like this? We didn't get into cost for these boot camps, but for veterans who have access to these type of programs, is this something that they can take advantage of?
Not yet, and that's because we just got our SHEV approval, and so literally, I think within the last 48 hours. And so for us, we now have to go through the process to be able to accept those. And we should have that in no time at all. And as it pertains to veterans, a lot of the companies that are in the American Cyber League, they offer scholarships for us to give to veterans so that they can come in, get training. Your training when you sign up for the course includes a voucher for an exam at our Pearson View Testing Center, and it includes one retake, should that be the case. Some people get really nervous, but I can vouch for the training, so that shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, that's where we're headed, and that's where we're going. That's a great question, John. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know if you're seeing it, but it's like a little bit of a chunkiness to the video feed for me, so that didn't smoothly transition away. It kind of chunked out. But so I feel like we've been talking a lot about the Cyber Bytes Academy. Is that fair? A fair statement?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't want to overshadow the other pieces, but when I think of Cyber Bytes Foundation, based on our conversation, there's really three pillars to it, right? There's the Academy for the education, and then there's the American Cyber League, which is really your focus there is innovation. That's my understanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for us, we opened the Quantico Cyber Hub in October. And right now
Hmm.
we have over 850 individuals, the small, medium, large companies, and as I said earlier. And so we're really excited how quickly we've grown. And so from the innovation standpoint, what we're doing is we're building out AI, AR, VR, modeling and simulation, IoT labs. That's all going into our second floor. And what's great is right now we're right at the beginning of the building process. We've just cleared permits. And so we have an opportunity to bring companies in if they want to showcase their equipment or software, anything like that, or when we want to sponsor the lab. So from our perspective, before COVID hit, we were having approximately 200 people, 250 people a day coming into the Cyber Hub. A lot of Marine Corps tenants. We had DAU teaching courses there. And so we've got a lot. It's a really busy place. It's great. And once the labs are finished, boy, I tell you what, that it's going to really, really get a lot of visibility. And so for companies, it's just a great place to showcase your stuff. So you can
Yeah.
all reach out.
So I'm curious. So what is the accessibility of it? Like, is it like a YMCA where like I can just walk in, or does it have to be coordinated through a business? Can individuals, I know individuals can access it, and these things all sound very interesting, but I guess what's the formality of how you kind of get introduced? How do you go from on the street to in a lab learning something?
Right. So there's two things that you can do. One is you can, obviously reach out to me and say, hey, we'd like to come by. You can drop in on us. We're more than happy to host you. But what happens then is that we want people to join the Cyber League. And the reason for that is we go after work, we go after OTAs, grants, research. So that's part of the innovation end of this. And so for a company's perspective, you'll have an opportunity to partner with us on some of these OTAs and grants. And then also, as a member of the ACL, you'll have access to the labs, and you can go up there and use them. We'll have a scheduling system set up for them. And then within the labs, we'll have two areas. We'll have one area where it's set up for people trying to solve some problems maybe they're having within company, or they want to bring in a partner and do something right on site. And then we'll have another area where it's for work that's funded. And so, if we're doing some research, or we've got a grant in with Facebook on voting security. And so for that stuff, we'll do that over there. And there's kind of like another level of security there. And then on the third floor, we have 5,000 square feet set aside for a skiff. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so we're finalizing a CRADA right now, and that will allow us to build out that skiff. So we're just ecstatic about that. And so companies will be able to have access to the skiff, with appropriately cleared personnel. But you can now have a place to do TSSCI level work up on the third floor. You've got the labs on the second floor. You've got education on the first floor. So we're building, an incredible ecosystem, I feel like.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it's going to be a one-stop shop for all things, and it's entirely cybersecurity, right? Like that's the filter that's being applied to this, right?
Well, absolutely. But from our perspective, the way we see it is that it doesn't matter if it's IoT, if it's AI, AR, VR. If you can't keep those systems secure, right, then
Hmm.
you've got problems. And so for us, we're doing kind of all of it, but our focus is cyber in the sense of, we want to keep these things secure, and we want to create solutions, obviously with ransomware and, malware and everything else that's going on. We've got to really step up. And this is what we're doing to invest in our community to answer the bell. So we want to bring people along with us, and we want to create the environment for them without them having to put a lot of money into infrastructure.
Yeah. So my next question was actually going to be about infrastructure. So is the approach that you all have kind of like, members of the Cyber League that are going to have, dedicated lab space and stuff like they're responsible for their infrastructure, or is Cyber Bytes Foundation providing kind of a, VM farm or whatever, like a place for people to kind of hack and make and play and break stuff and have it not really be an issue? I guess, can you kind of talk about, I don't want to get too deep into the technical pieces, but I'm curious what the technical infrastructure is going to look like to support this mission.
Right. So we've partnered with a major company. And so since we're still they're providing their statement of work to us, but we are bringing in an Azure stack. We're bringing in some stuff with NVIDIA. And so we're very excited about that. And so that's going to provide a lot of the backbone for that. And then also they work with some other companies to bring in kind of some higher end equipment. Unfortunately, I can't say it right now. So
that's okay.
But I want to really badly.
You're going to say a leading player in the market.
Yes. Yeah. And they're a great company, and we're ecstatic to be working with them. So we have that. And then, like I said, we've got room for some other kind of companies to come in and help out. And so, like I said, if you want to get your equipment in front of people, like, it's a fantastic place. And so we're excited, man. We're just excited because we feel like we're going to be able to do so much good, and it's just going to be it's a great place. And you can just feel the excitement, and we've just been getting bigger and bigger and going faster and faster. And so it's been a great problem to have.
Yeah. So we've kind of been talking about the focus, or the optic from the kind of student perspective or the business perspective who's going to be providing these services. Is, again, I know it's a nonprofit. So, but if I'm a vendor that has developed some solution, or I'm a small little mom and pop shop that's developing something, can I bring it there and have people beat on it and basically get free security research done on it in exchange for people banging in and breaking it? Like, say I develop some IoT device, but I can't afford to have someone do security research on it. I mean, is that another angle that you guys are considering?
Yeah, that's what we're really kind of setting ourselves up for. Our co-founder is Brian Demuth from Grimm. And if you know anything about Grimm, it's almost like a motto for them. They break stuff. I mean, that's their whole thing. They hack Jeep Cherokees. There's Jeep Cherokee, one of the automobile players, and and now they do a ton of work for the automobile industry, making sure that our cars are secure. So that's well within their wheelhouse, and we have many companies within our organization that they're able to come in and do that work for you. And that's what we want to do, right? We want to create that opportunity for companies, and when they're ready to take it to market, or before they're ready to take it to market, bring it in. Let's see what happens. Let's see what some really top high-end people can do to it, and make sure that you're truly ready. Man, that's where we're headed. And so, we feel by the end, right around October 1st, we should be full up and running on the lab side. So more to follow.
Nice. So, I mean, obviously COVID has impacted y'all ability to have someone walk in, or have people come on site and drop stuff. So is there any, and I honestly don't know the answer to this, we hadn't talked about it before. Like, are there any remote opportunities, or is there any online component for education, or for anything, or is it all physical in-person stuff?
No. So right now we are working, our classes will be doing virtually, just, because of the COVID stuff. And then from the lab perspective, the way we're setting this lab up too is this partner we're bringing in is, they've got a very expensive lab as well. And I think if I say it, I'll give it away, that we're creating a portal to it. So, some of that work that they're going to be able to offer us won't even be able to be done in-house, because, we'll be leveraging that facility. And so, we're certainly, you don't necessarily have to be here. And we're about to start adding international companies to the Cyber League, and so we're really excited about that. And from our perspective, when you pay to join the ACL, that's our model. If you're not getting back 3 to 5 times what you put in, we're not charging you another dollar. And then on top of that, we have to figure out how to make it whole, how to make you whole and get it back to you. So that's where we're at. And so for us, we feel like, it's a win for anyone that wants to be involved, and we'll make sure that happens. Otherwise, our nonprofit will fold up like a cheap table. So.
Yeah. Well, and this is really the like what you just said hits on why I wanted to bring you onto the show and promote Cyber Bytes Foundation, because like any which way you look at it, whatever your perspective is, if you're an individual, if you're a business, if you're a hacker, if you're a government, if you're trying to get a job, like Cyber Bytes is like trying to help whatever it is that you are. It's trying to help, and I love it. It's a great mission. It's a great initiative, and I really feel like a lot of people need to know about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you know too, we've grown so quickly. We bought the land next to us. We're leveling the ground to put in a $25 million advanced data analytics science center. We're going to call it CUBE. And when you see that, it's going to knock your socks off. I mean, aesthetically, it's beautiful, but that it just brings another, like, we feel data analytics is going to, it complements cyber on so many different levels. And with companies like Facebook and Amazon, in bringing all of their headquarters and their data centers here to Virginia, like, we're right in line with that. And so I feel like we're going to be able to provide a huge service to our community and grow our workforce. And so I mean, we're ecstatic and we feel really blessed.
Yeah. So with 30,000 square feet of space, that is quite a bit of space. Are you guys also hosting like conferences or trade shows or anything? Like, are you doing stuff along those lines as well?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we had a lot of momentum going in to COVID. So we had some events planned that weren't able to execute on. And then additionally, we're working with some of the villages that that are hosted at DEF CON. We're looking to host them at the facility because DEF CON is virtual, and so we're in the talks to finalize that. So we've got that going. We had plans to host a HBO world premiere event for Hari Hursty and his Kill Chain documentary that was recently released on HBO about hacking the American election. So
yeah, and I'll note, I haven't watched that yet, but even though it's on HBO, you don't need an HBO subscription to enjoy that. I'll put a link actually on in the show notes here when we wrap up.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's unbelievable too, because he talks about, like, one, how easy it is, and then two, how it doesn't have to be every machine. It's just one or two. I mean, our elections, a lot of elections have been really, really close, and it's unsettling. So, possibly with the way things are going, maybe things are going to be done by mail. So that'll introduce, a whole nother level of things. But it is alarming to see that, hey, that's what we've been using to conduct our voting for our country. And we got to get that fixed.
So, if people were interested, like, obviously people are interested. So how do they find out about, like, they already found out about you through this. How do they find out how to get involved and take advantage of all these resources?
Well, you can email me, matt@cyberbytesfoundation.org. That's pretty easy to remember. And then we have a website that right now is at a placeholder because we're redoing our website. We've got too much, and we didn't feel like what we had was really appropriate for everything we're doing. So we're rebuilding that, and you can sign up there and you'll get notices, you'll get updates, you'll get invites. We do monthly networking events. We've had Charles Finfrock. We had an assistant director from CISA, and so on the last one. So we're really excited with everything we've got going on, and that's really kind of your first steps. Either email me or just sign up there.
How's that? I threw up your email here, matt@cyberbytes.org, you said?
Cyber Bytes Foundation.
Oh, okay. I will fix that.
Sure.
.org, right?
Yep.
That way people know. and they can get that information. Does Cyber Bytes Foundation have a business page, a business Twitter, a business LinkedIn? Is it kind of?
Yeah, we're very active on LinkedIn. We're active on Twitter, and we're also active on Facebook. So we just started dipping our toe into Instagram. Anybody that's done social media knows that, managing 4 accounts and being a nonprofit and not having a huge team is challenging. And then one other thing too is that, this is so amazing. We've partnered with the Young Marines, and so we've got an upcoming youth camp for them. They're flying in 20 kids from around the country to participate in a week-long kind of STEM camp where they'll learn Python programming. They'll build robotics. They'll build and fly their own drone, which they get to keep. And then 2 weeks later, we're offering that same event to just local Stafford teens. So if it's something that if you have a teen, sign them up, and it's gonna be really cool. So we're very excited about that as well.
Yeah, no, it sounds awesome. And normally I would ask the guest, what are kind of the future plans? But you guys are moving so quick, and it sounds like that project next door is really kind of the next milestone, major milestone for y'all.
Yep, absolutely. And like I said, it's going to be almost 3 times the size of the hub. So we're getting huge. And then we also have plans for a phase 3 of building a cyber expo center on the 13 acres next to that. So yeah, we've got a lot going on. So if anybody's bored and wants to donate some time to help us, man, we could use you.
What an opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've been talking with Matt Weaver of Cyber Bytes Foundation. I hope you take a minute and go check it out. It's just a wealth of opportunity, regardless of where you are in life, as an individual or as a business. Matt, thank you so much for spending time with us and talking about Cyber Bytes Foundation.
Gerald, thank you. And what a blessing it's been to be on here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everybody. Until next week, stay secure.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.